Cooper, Leeds really hurt without you. Welcome back to the Roaring Peacock podcast. There is loads to talk about. Oh my God, it's an international break, but there's an absolute enormous amount of things to talk about. 8 players only were left training with Daniel Farke over the international break. We finally said goodbye to Liam Cooper after 10 years. I mean, one of the longest serving players in recent memory. What did he say? Not always perfect. Yeah, but nobody is. Certainly not us at the recently regenerated Roaring Peacock podcast. Dan James and Max Wober are out through injuries. One of those players will be an absolutely huge loss. But a genuine loss is the Leeds fan Bob, who lost his battle. Is it cancer? I think it was cancer. And Angus Kinnear has done an interview. Always love to hear from Kinnear. It's a great day whenever that happens. So I have listened to the interview, so you don't have to. No, please go and listen to the square ball. That's fine. So my name's Adonis. We're here to talk about all of those things. And we're joined by Macca, Big Mac, at you and Metcalf, the Prince of Darkness.
All right, lads. All right.
All right, Mac, and chairman of the board, Wiggy 123 4.
Hi everyone, good to see you all.
Good to see you too. Right, where should we start?
At the beginning.
At the beginning. So Liam Cooper, then. Let's talk about him as we've named this episode in his sake.
Go on, Wiggles.
Who wants to go first? Go on, Wiggy. We haven't seen
Wiggles
you in a while.
first. He's not been on for ages.
God, I am. It's been years, so it's good to be back, first and foremost. Thanks for having me. Yeah. I mean, where did you start with Cooper? 10 years, I think a club legend, both on and off the pitch. I think he said it in his statement. Was he perfect? No. But when he pulled that shirt on, did he give everything for Leeds United every single game? Yes. And I think he just embodied everything about Leeds United in the statement after relegation when he said, "If you don't want to be here, fuck off." And I think that, to me, well, that was it. You're a legend to me, and you'll do. And I think it was sad last year that obviously he didn't get many games, probably didn't get the send-off he deserved. And I think he can walk away, though, with his head held high, that he gave us 10 really good years.
Yep, Macca?
Yeah, similar. I remember watching. I knew a kid at Chesterfield when he was there, and it was during the closing. I'm pretty sure it was when Chesterfield were redeveloping a new ground away from Saltergate, and I was there meeting with this lad John, who's been a sort of mainstay at Chesterfield for years, and he said, "Oh, Leeds are after one of our main men, Liam Cooper." I'd never heard of him, obviously, and I said, "All right, what's he like?" He said, "He's going to be brilliant. He'll play for play internationally. He'll be Premier League player. Definitely doing really well. And you're getting him for like steel. It's like £500,000, And sort of in this boardroom at Chesterfield talking about it, looking across this new pitch and thinking, "Oh, great! It sounds good. I like it when we buy from like reasonably local sort of grassroots player coming through the ranks." And then I don't remember a lot about him eventually coming, because there was a bit of a thing. It was off at one point. The deal had gone. It was off. We couldn't reach the valuation, and then we brought him in, and I can't. My memory's shit, as you know. I've described how bad my memory is many times. But one of his early games, he ran back towards the goal. Somebody put a cross in, and he chested it into his own net. And I thought, "Fucking hell!" I'm not being funny. He's not playing internationally, and he's not playing in Premier League. And for a lot of time, they called him League One Liam, and there's all these kind of horror phrases and nicknames that he got, and so on and so on. But I think overall, he get, like you say, I think Leeds fans expect one thing, and that's effort, 100% effort and commitment to the cause, and you can't fault him for that. Off the pitch, I know that Wiggy, I don't know if he wants to expand on, I don't know if he wants to talk with marching out and stuff like that, but he certainly seemed to be a guy that off the pitch sort of was one of us, he kind of gave back to community work, but didn't just do it because he had to. He sort of felt like he was, invested in it and really meant it. So that means a lot to us as fans. And as a player, I thought he got better and better, and certainly that a lot of players under Bielsa got better, didn't they? But he was one of them that just went from being a sort of mid-table championship player to top, to player, proper centre half, a bit of a throwback of a centre half as well, but can play, good left foot, can pass long distance, can play out. I remember my memories of him, other than sort of being a great captain that promotion year and him leading us into the Premier League. He scored a goal with his left foot, like he smashed one into the top corner once, and I always sort of, when I think about Liam Cooper, I think about that because it was completely unexpected for a centre half to score that kind of goal. And then I think when we played Leicester, who was the kid who moved from Newcastle? Was it Perez? And I think we watched this game on watch along, or we certainly did a podcast about it. And I think he'd just come back from injury and we'd been a bit leaky. And he smashed him, didn't he? It was like one of them old school tackles where he got all ball, he didn't touch the man, but he proper gave him it and sort of changed the game a little bit. I'm sure it was Leicester when we beat him, when Bamford scored that really good goal against Schmeichel. Turned the game around with a tackle, which is a bit of an old school thing to do. But old school player, old school mentality. Under Bielsa, I thought he was exceptional. Captained us brilliantly and played under 13 different managers, which I think is a record. Is it more? I don't know what it did the other day, but some sort of record for the modern era playing under that many managers. So I wish him all the best, and I think obviously towards the end of his playing career, but certainly off the pitch and as a leader, be sorely missed.
Yep. So don't know how many managers, but it was a lot. And yeah. I love that tackle against Leicester. It's one of those ones that it gets you out your seat. It's exactly what you want to see, and it's far too rare. I mean, it's the game's it's not like it used to be, is it? 284 appearances, 11 goals, not prolific. One championship title. That was fun. 2019 EFL Team of the Season, the Championship Team of the Year twice. And, no frills about him. If you look at somebody, some of the centre halves we've had in recent years, they might, make an average tackle and then celebrate. Or even one right back.
Who are you on about?
Or make it all about them by sitting against an advertising board at the end of a game, all on their own, sort of inviting a few of the media to come and take a photo of them, just them, all on their own. It's all about them. He was never like that at all. Very, very humble man, very hardworking, instilled the right ethics, gave the right tone that Leeds fans expect of a player and of a captain. I thought he represented the club very well, and for £600,000 in this market.
Once again, we nearly lost him because we wouldn't pay the money, and you think, fucking hell, you think about Hammer and all this, and we're paying like 18 million, lost him for about 150 grand. I think it was the kind of amount they were falling out about. So yeah, well done, Leeds. Never change.
I think the number one thing is he was a leader, wasn't he, both on and off the pitch. Like he led that group of players, whether they were mid-table championship or going for the championship or in the Premier League. He led them just with dignity, class, and Mac mentioned his community work. He was always supporting of March Now. He was always the first one to send a video of well wishes for Pride or for whatever we were trying to do. They would never know from him. And I think it just speaks volumes about the man. And his video for his launch at his new club was superb. I think it's hilarious.
Absolutely.
Really, really good play on his name. And like Max said, I just wish him all the best. I hope he goes on and has, a good couple more years of his career to go out on a high. And it's sad that I don't think he got the send off he deserved because I think of everything that had gone on at the end of last season. But I think I agree with your point, Donny, about testimonial next summer and get the band back together and let's have just one last hurrah with them all. I think because it's
I think that
almost.
Yeah, go on. Sorry, Steve.
No,
there were so many.
Sorry, he's almost the last.
For fuck's sake. He just couldn't come on very often. Fucking hell. Just cutting him off.
It was all about me. You were talking about me.
Yeah, you and your ego again. It's all about just giving them all. He was, for me, he's the last one of that group, if that makes sense. And I know that Bamford's still there, and I know that Strauch and there's a few players that went up with us, but of that core group of Ayling, Dallas, and Cooper,
Click.
he's the last one to go.
Bill.
Yeah,
Bill. Yeah, that's the leadership group in it. That's what that's gone on it. I think the sad thing about Cooper, as well as us not dignifying him with a proper send off, and hopefully that does come later down the line. Now, how good would that be if you got, I don't know, a Bielsa 11 against a Leeds 11 or whatever, and you brought back some of those players? But the sad thing about Cooper was, that season where we got promoted, which would have been his highlight of his career, he never got to do it in front of fans, really. And it's really sad that he went, a player like that who probably deserves a little few accolades and a bit of gratification. He does the most amazing thing he's done in his career at a time where no fans, which I think he was a big fans' favourite one, and fans liked him and he loved the fans. He didn't get to do that, which was a bit sad. But to not dignify him with a proper send off, whatever the background reasons are, I think it's pretty poor, really. But hopefully,
he said that in his message to everybody announcing it. So he talked about, and to the fans, yes, you lunatics and the heartbeat of our great club, your unwavering support for myself and the boys meant everything. You will never know how much you drive the players on. My only sadness looking back is not getting to lift that title Ellen Road in front of you. And I think was it Pablo and Berardi? Was it their last game? Was it against West Brom?
West Brom,
Premier League. I think we won 5-0 or something. But there was a few fans allowed in the ground, I think.
Yeah.
It wasn't a 5-0 that one, was it? But it was. Yeah, we did win, I think.
A bunch of crowdies.
It's a really small attendance. Yeah.
I just felt so sad for Pablo and Berardi walking around an empty Ellen Road, waving to empty seats.
Yeah.
So that's why I sort of mentioned them two as well in my tweet, asking for a testimonial. I think it's an absolute no-brainer. I mean, somebody replied to me as it's an open goal, so probably will never happen.
Well, as long as Bamford's not there to stick it in, we'll be fine, won't we? I was going to say,
I think
wow,
13 managers he played under. And if you look at the list of managers, it's a bit like Sol Bamba when he passed away. I know Liam Cooper's not dead; he's moved to
Bulgaria.
But people were saying, when he was at Leeds, he was like the light. At a time where it was very, very dark and there was no kind of positives. He was kind of trying to protect fans. Liam Cooper has played under Hockaday. Fuck me. Fucking, I blanked that from my memory. Milanic,
the melon. The ripe watermelon.
Yeah, Milanic, Redfern, Huey Rossler, Evans, fuck me. Monk, fair enough. TC.
Snake.
Heckingbottom. Marcello, fine. Marsh, horrible. Gracia, fucking hell, again, blanked from my memory. Big Sam, fucking
Sam Allardyce.
It's like that, isn't it? It's like the financial, like projections. It's like up and straight back down again. And then Farker. So, to say that he's stuck around 10 years and being the leader that he has and the player that he has, with that shit going on behind you, Cellino in the boardroom, whoever else, awful. But speak volumes about the man, doesn't it?
I think COVID's another one where, they wanted the players to take a pay cut. And he goes in there and he's like, yeah, we'll do it. But you make sure that none of these people lose their job. And if you are, do your end of the bargain, we'll do ours. And I think that just says leadership all over you. Like he will have probably gone around each of them players saying, this is what we're doing. And he'll have gone in there and delivered that message to the club owners, and all respect for him. And I just wonder who we're going to blame now if things go wrong. Because even when he's not on pitch, you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, it's Cooper's fault. What has he done now? League One Liam's back in. So, yeah, who are we going to blame now?
And I think he took that all very well as well, I think. And I think he was his own biggest critic also. And, he tried his best. I mean, whatever his best was, he pushed it higher and higher and higher, and he exceeded, I think, probably his own expectations of himself and his career.
100%.
And he just gave everything that he could give. And the people that we have an issue with, what I've noticed over the last 4 years of doing this pod, that every single person who's ever come on the pod, every Leeds fan, all they ever want is for you to give your best. And if your best is League One Liam, or it turned out to be Premier League Liam, and that was the great thing for him, is that he changed that narrative over time, but he didn't get moody about it. He didn't shrug his shoulder. Every time he got knocked down, he got back up. And what I would say about Liam Cooper is that there are Leeds United captains that make an impact and offer something to the history of the club. And if you look at some of the greatest captains in the history, they stick out like sore thumbs. Gordon Strachan, even McAllister, when I was young, but it's talking about Billy Bremner. And obviously there was a plaque unveiled in
Lee
Stirling.
Peltier. Don't forget Lee Peltier.
Right, yeah. And
another one had blanked from my mind, but it suddenly just came to me. Kevin Nichols, fuck me.
Billy had this plate above his coat hanger in the dressing room, said "Keep fighting," and that was one of his phrases. And then obviously the other one was "Side before self," and that's sort of emblazoned on the side of Ellen Road. And what I love about Cooper is that he's probably created the phrase that defines Leeds fans and Leeds United the most, which is, if you don't want to be here, then fuck off.
Yeah, great.
It's true, isn't it? Like, I think they were exactly the words that 30,000 Leeds fans in Ellen Road would have absolutely said, yeah, if you don't want to be a fuck off. Like exactly how we all felt on that fucking despondent day when it's just like, no else can go wrong. He just said it for all of us. So, hats off to him, and I just wish him all the best.
I think it takes a player to be here a long time. Unless you're from Leeds or you're from the streets of Leeds or whatever, and unless you've got a real affinity with the fans quickly, it doesn't happen very often. People go on about Rutter and Let's Go and all that and going, fair enough, but it wasn't the kind of behaviour that Leeds fans. He was just eccentric, and people took to that kind of big smile and all that. But Cooper kind of, as I said, he was one of us, wasn't he? To come out with that phrase, you've got to be here a long time to kind of understand that was exactly the sentiment, exactly the feeling, exactly the kind of words that Leeds fans would have used. You've got to kind of serve your time to do that, and I think that's a testament to it. As you said, Donny, that meme and that graphic and that phrase will be used. Liam Cooper retires, and he's left his mark, hasn't he? Which is all you can ask as a player, and definitely as a captain. So I'm pleased to hear that he supported the work that you're doing as well, Wiggy, because he kind of struck me as a guy that probably would judge or anybody, just speak as he found and be a really down to earth kind of guy. So I'm pleased to hear that as well.
Yeah.
Right then, 143 people watching across various different platforms. Want to say A up to Paul Hunt. Thanks for sending in this message. I really think might need to change the graphics because I'm struggling to see that white text on the yellow background. But anyway, he says, A up, lads. Super proud of Coops. Absolutely spoilt to have him as our club captain. Him, that team, and Bielsa gave me a joy in that promotion season that kept me going. Thank you so much. And that's it. They did bring the joy back to Leeds United, didn't they? Because it was a lot of years of
just for a few years, and now we're back to shit again. It's great.
Well, we don't deserve more than that. Let's face it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're all fucking vile animals. So yeah, come on. I prefer it this way. The joy didn't fit right. It didn't sit right with it.
Rightio. And just one more thing then. I think it was Farker. What did Farker spoke about Liam Cooper today in his press conference, and he said, I have nothing to add. to what I have said in the past. It was a pleasure and a privilege to be Liam Cooper's manager. He's a club legend, fantastic player and human being. What he has achieved here over the last 10 years is second to none. He will always be with us in our hearts. And he also said, I know when I have a question or I need him with support or recommendations, he will be here in a second.
I believe that. I think he'll come and watch the games. I think he'll come to the games and sit in the stands and be one of them players that comes back, you know, and watches. Like, I think Bill probably will as well.
Yeah. I think so. Hey, Daniel was asked if there are any plans to honour Cooper. Farker said, it's not for me to announce in a press conference. I'm sure the club will do something if they feel it's appropriate. So,
yeah, what we're going to do is let one of the Burnley strikers run off his man and have a clear shot at goal. I couldn't resist. Could not resist.
We're going
to mark our man and let him have a clean shot in the box without being
righto. So a couple of injury news then. Dan James out. He has re-injured himself, and the re-injury is worse than the initial injury. So he was doing well and now much worse.
That sounds like a wanking injury, that, doesn't it? He's re-injured himself. How's he done that?
Wanking.
He's got a blister on it now. He's fucking furiously wanking himself.
So, stretching. Overstretched himself.
He's broke his banjo string. It's proper snapped and everything.
Wow. What would Barney say now? And we're back.
Yeah.
Max Verber is out.
Good.
Hey! Yes! Hey!
That's a tribute to Liam Cooper.
Poor Max.
That fucking useless.
Poor Max.
He's fucking.
When he's been here 10 years, we'll all be talking about that. We've just been talking about Liam Cooper. I love Max.
Good old League One Verber.
Yeah.
Oh dear. But he is capable of doing something good. I just we haven't seen it yet at Leeds United.
Ever. He's shit.
Right.
Saddam Hussein had a good side. This is a Saddam Hussein had a good side conversation with it.
Hey,
So,
you missed off that Bamford's back row. That's big news, isn't it?
Massive.
Yes.
Massive.
And he's had his hair dyed as well.
Yeah, we've got a great striker to bring on there to fucking sky it over N621.
Right.
Bamfordinho's coming back with his blonde shitty haircut.
Yeah. So he's been out for, what was it, 11 weeks or something? I don't
know. No, on and off 10 years. On and off 10 years.
Yeah. Not long enough.
Yeah. It'd be quicker to say the times he's been back, not when he's been off.
So, like I said, Patrick has been training since Tuesday. Today was his third day back. There is a difference between training and being match fit. So we will be very careful with him.
Too fucking right.
Yeah.
He's been back 1, 2, 3. Oh, he's got 4 days left.
1, 2, 3, therefore injured.
Yeah, he's out.
Right. Yeah. Just don't over podcast him, because I know from personal experience you can get quite a few number of injuries. You can also be affected by comments on social media, which I know that it seemed, I don't know. I mean, does seem like it could affect him just a little bit. Maybe.
Yeah, but thankfully you probably don't watch this fucking podcast, so we
probably not. No, hardly anyone does. Although, hello, if you are, leave a comment. It's very nice to see you, and yeah, would be great if you could like the video and subscribe and give us a 5-star review on all of the platforms. We never asked for that, so I might as well. Righto, Angus Kinnear has done an interview with the Square Ball. So, Wiggy, we haven't talked about you. We haven't talked with you. We've talked about you a lot, but not with you.
not when you're on there. Not when we're on there. Just off
for a long time. So we didn't do the sort of the decompress after last season and look at last season, do a bit of analysis. But Daniel Farker and the 49ers have done. And this is what Angus Kinnear said of the analysis that they did last season. So Kinnear said that we were over-dependent on 2 or 3 key players. The recruitment strategy over the summer was to strengthen in some of those areas. That we shouldn't be in a position where the fullbacks, Junior Firpo got 1 goal, Archie didn't score any goals. Bit harsh, got 1 deflected goal, didn't he? In terms of the centre backs, when we lost Pascal, he was scoring quite regularly, but then we had no goals from Joe or Ethan. And he said in midfield there were a limited number of goals, 1 from Gruev, 0 from Kamara. So we needed to create a team where the creativity and goal threat comes from all areas. So that was their analysis, and that's what they've changed or tried to change in the transfer market this summer. So, Wiggy, how do you think last season went and the summer?
So obviously it was very disappointing in the end. I think it was a great season overall, but we just fell away at the last hurdle, very Leedsy. But it is what it is. Well, we're over it. We're on to the next thing. I think this summer, I can totally get why fans were getting frustrated and getting the bloody knickers in a twist because there was nothing coming out of the club. We're selling Archie Gray. We're selling Somerville. We all thought Somerville would go, so I don't think that one is, it's by the by. And then for Rutter to go, you sat there looking at the squad and you're thinking, we've no fucking players. Like, I thought we were going to ring me for a game. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was that bad. But then, and I've listened to half of the interview myself. I think by the end of the window, and especially after seeing some of the players against Hull, and like tiny bit of time that whole game, but you just look like they've really invested well. I think Solomon was fantastic. I think I put on Twitter that best debut I've seen in a long, long time. That I thought he had. I thought he had Coyle in his pocket all game, to be fair. And I thought when the subs came on, I thought they were really, really good, really energetic. So I think we're now in a position where we've got options again. And, if Dan James had been fit again, he was likely going to be on the bench this weekend because of the performance that we're putting by Solomon against Hull. So I think we've got options again now. And I'm sat looking at the league going, I think we're in a decent place. I think it'd be good to have another centre-back, but I can understand why they haven't. I know that Angus talks about number 10.
We've got Ferber. He's like a new signing.
Sorry, yeah, we've got Ferber, that new signing that we brought in. Classic. I think I'd have rather had Liam on bench, to be honest with you, but never mind. So yeah, I think we're not in a bad place. You always want more, but what Leeds fan done? So I think we'll just see how it pans out till January. But as long as we don't get a raft of injuries, we should be okay. We've got good options off that bench now.
Yep, absolutely agree. And so does Farker, actually. He was asked about the new signings, and he was just basically saying that, the proper work starts now to integrate the new guys. And a lot of them were away. So, Tanaka with Japan, Mano with Israel.
Can we just talk? And I know it's every year, but that international break that's just been is absolute fucking bullshit.
Get rid of it.
Got two more before Christmas.
I know, it's mad. Like, we play fucking 4 or 5 games, and but it is bollocks for some fucking tin pot cut. I just don't get it. I really don't get it. But anyway,
no. When he was talking about how long it would take for Dan James to come back into the team, he was saying that he doesn't expect him back until after the next international break, which is in a month, a bit time. Yeah, absolutely unbelievable. We don't need the Nations League. We never did. We didn't need it. Nobody wanted it. Did you want it? I didn't. Now they're bringing out a Club World Cup. They've just changed the Champions League. I know that's not a problem. It'd be a nice problem to have, but it's not a problem for us. But it's just, how many football games do we need? I mean, at the end of last season, particularly for us, we'd gotten far more of Leeds United than we were expecting to get. But, we were there for it. And then with the Championship and then the playoff. And then you've got to watch Gareth Southgate's England ball. And by the time that Euros was over, I was so drained mentally and physically and spiritually and emotionally drained from that season.
The thing is, you're saying that, and England did really well. So it just goes to show that the sort of the sea change in international football. You know, I used to like watching England. I mean, I went to World Cups. I've been and watched England away. I've watched England all over the world, but just it's not a case of not liking England. I'll be honest. I think Southgate started well and dropped off quite a lot. You know, in my opinion, I thought he sort of lost that momentum that he.
It was horrible to watch.
It was pretty shit. And I think as much as Cars is interim, and I'm not sure whether he'll get the full-time job. I've liked straight away. He's put a fucking right back, Terence Trent D'Arby, back at right back. He's put him back as fucking brilliant because he's got space and it's the position that he plays, and he's kind of taking up different positions from right back, which is really fucking throws people out. That kid from Lille who was at Gomez, Angel Gomez. I mean, listen, he looked like he'd fucking played for England all his life in the first game, and he never gives ball away, like Ronaldo Vieira, and never gives ball away. You know, I'm starting to see signs that I might start enjoying watching England again. You know, Gordon should have been playing more in the world. You know, Gareth Southgate said about that Angel Gomez, he's on my radar. It means fuck all. It means basically, I know who he is, but I'm not interested in putting him in the team. So I think England, you know, you look at the team and what's coming through as well. The young right winger from Chelsea, you know, there's so much talent in that squad. Listen, we'd all want to go watch England with a Euros or a World Cup. Let's not kid ourselves. It'd be amazing. And even in the summer, we got to a final again and got beat by Spain, who were streets ahead of everybody else, really. So we should be enjoying it. But it's the fact that as a club fan and club first, country second, it's the fact that we stop-start the season all the time, and it's never helped us, has it? I think we lost momentum last season. Wales getting knocked out of the qualifying. The Welsh players never looked the same again. You know, it's all that stuff in it.
When you look at sports performance, there is this thing called what's it called? Emotional infectiousness, something like that. Anyway, and basically the emotional state of a player is as important as any of the other things, as psychological and physical. And you could see, and it's infectious. And after that international break, when those Wales lads came back completely miserable, I mean, they were shot. They were done. And you know, when you're not in a good emotional state, it's not very well documented, but you're not going to perform. You're not having a good day. You're not looking at, the world is tinted blue, like everything's bad. And that's infectious as much as, a good feeling is. So when you've got players like Alioski, who are just mad as a hatter and shaking the tunnel every game and just so full of energy all the time, that's infectious. When Georgie had a smile from ear to ear every single game and celebrated everybody's goal, every person's goal, like it was the winning goal in the final of the World Cup, that's infectious. And when you've got as many lads as we had who play for Wales coming back completely done, probably need to go see a therapist. There's nothing wrong with that. That is infectious as well, and that spread throughout the whole team. And then we won what? 2 in 6?
I think 2, yeah.
One game. One game in the next 6. So scrap international break.
Stop playing international football.
Meaningless.
Fuck them all off, yeah.
It's the
and
point.
Wales, you're not going to win anything. It's not going to mean anything. I'm sorry, you're a lovely place, but it's not worth it.
It's the friendlies, the Nations League, these nonsense competitions like the Euros are the Euros, World Cup's the World Cup. Everyone, gets up for that, gets into that. But they're just the bollocks after fucking 4 or 5 games to stop it for some. I can't. But I don't know.
Firpo was whinging that he couldn't. Firpo was whinging he couldn't go to the Olympics. The Olympics, football at the Olympics. The Olympics is about jumping really high.
He played striker the other day, didn't fucking Firpo, and he's got an assist as well. It's like, what the fuck was going on?
Hey, that's why they didn't bring a new striker in. They're like, fuck this, you've got Firpo.
Like a new signing.
Yeah.
if Radrazak wanted to say, who needs a striker? We've got two different.
Righto. So one last thing about the signings then. Farke was asked about the signings, and when he spoke about Tanaka, his eyes lit up. It was like a 10-year-old being given a PS5 at Christmas. He's been coveting Tanaka for years, and since he was in Germany, he tried to sign him 12 months ago, and you can see why.
Well, a bit like Gomez for England. He's one of them players who he can control the tempo. He doesn't ever really try anything. I know that he will in time, but he don't try anything too expansive. It's all very short, tidy, technical. I mean, I'm not being funny, early doors, but I've not seen a player that technically capable in a while at Leeds. Just to control the tempo of the game, keep the ball, control it a bit more than we have been able to do. And you look at games like, games that we sort of threw away, even the Portsmouth, you get momentum and you keep it and you go 2-0 up or 2-1 up and you just don't let them back in the game. We've just needed a player like that for a long time, and Pablo's a bit further forward, but I can't think of the last player we've had that could do that. Batty was really good at it and stuff like that, but it's a long time since we've had a player that technical, and I like him a lot.
And I like the speed at which he moved it as well. Like he was all over the shop.
Exactly.
The ball would move really quickly. He was. But we are talking a really short space of time that we've seen him 15, 20 minutes. So this is just initial first impressions. It were like, yeah, he's going to be a baller. He's going to be really good for us.
Yeah, and I think the rationale from what I was getting from Angus was that keeping somebody like Wober, for example, allows us to have that extra centre back who can fill in instead of Ampadu. So Ampadu can stay in midfield, and that will hopefully allow, he was saying, Gruev, Tanaka, and Rothwell to be more attacking and hopefully get more goals from midfield. So that was one thing that Kinnear talked about. Another thing that he said, which I thought was interesting, was that we've got the first or second highest paid squad in the Football League, and that we've got one of the most expensive squads in Football League history. I think what came across from the Angus Kinnear interview for me is that they need to do more of that.
Is it cock?
He needs to do more of it.
I don't think he does. I think he needs to fuck off. I don't want to hear from people. I don't want to hear from any of them. It's like, let the fucking players... You know what pisses me off about that, right? And I'm going to fucking go on a rampage now. Oh, we've got the most expensive squad in the fucking league. Look at us, we're great. Look how much money we've just brought in. We were like the fucking third biggest earner in Europe for player sales. We should have a fucking expensive squad because you're making money out of Archie Gray, almost full profit. They're full of shit. They're all PR men. All this, yellow don't sell. Fucking hell. Guess what? The record-breaking shirt, the greatest fucking opening day sales has ever been, a fucking yellow shirt, you dick. Fucking can't do with them. Just fuck off. I'm not bothered about hearing from him. All that stuff about, we need more goals from all over the pitch. You don't fucking say no shit, Sherlock. Fucking hell. And you know what? Buy a 10 then, because the player that scored the most goals, apart from a striker in our team, goals that won us games, goals in 15, 17 seconds, whatever. Pablo Hernandez, number 10. You know what's really important in a fucking good side if you want to score goals? A number 10. What did you not buy this year? A number 10. You want me to paint you a picture, you fucking clown? Fucking hell. Right, anyway, I'm shut up. I've got it out of the system. I just can't be arsed with these PR men coming out. It's just like he's the last fucking cog in that Radrazani wheel. And as much as I haven't got really any hatred for Radrazani, I thought what they did, I thought was good to a lesser or greater extent. Certainly like what we'd witnessed before. But he's the last one of that kind of PR. Like, if you're going to roll me out, I'm going to fucking baffle you with bullshit, and I just can't be arsed with it. Bullshit bingo, I'm not having it. So what? You spent a bit of money on some players, good, well done. You just brought in about 160 million Red Bull money, fucking parachute payments. Yeah, fuck off, mate.
So he did talk about the finances, and he said that...
Here we go, some petrol.
Don't like the flames, don't like the fire anymore.
that Leeds had huge debts owed to transfer creditors from the last years of Radrizzani, and that 49ers have been having to pick up those tabs. A lot of those transfers didn't work out. And yeah, he was basically saying that there's also a deficit of income from revenue. So, for example, each place higher in the Premier League is an extra £3 million of merit payment that you get. There's no merit payment in the Championship. So if you finish 17th and you finish third, you get the same amount of money. And in fact, if you're in the playoffs, you have to split your ticket sales between all the clubs. So that's just one example. And then again, it's £1 million every time you're on Sky in the Premier League, whereas in the Championship, it's £30,000. So the difference between finishing 9th, like we did in that first year when we got promoted, and then finishing third in the Championship is 50 million on top of the 100 million of television rights revenue that you get and all the other things.
So I get all of that point that you've just made, and I do. But like when the 49ers bought Leeds United, they had the books. They knew they had the fucking transfers that they needed to pay. That's all transparent when they buy the club. It's like when you buy a house, you can walk in and go, oh, it needs a new kitchen. I need a fucking budget for that. Like, this is not rocket science. And I ain't a bloody businessman, do you know what I mean? But it's fucking common sense. So absolutely, I understand that they have them player transfers to go out. I totally do. And yes, they haven't worked out because they bought a load of shit because they had fucking Victor Orta running books.
Yeah.
But they knew about it, so it's bullshit. Yeah. That's bullshit. They knew about it.
No, it's not a new thing. It's not something that's new that's happening. It's just an explanation for why the sales were needed to happen. So there's he was saying that there's three different reasons why sales happen. One is cash flow, and we don't need any of that. We did with Radrizzani. We needed cash flow because he was just trying to do this on his own, and he didn't have very deep pockets, and those pockets were getting tinier and tinier. And
his arms were getting shorter and shorter. He had champagne lips and lemonade pockets.
The more time he spent in Yorkshire, the tighter he fucking got is what happened.
Yes. But they don't have that problem. And he did talk about Orta, and he did say that the biggest problem with the last ownership and what happened in the Premier League was recruitment. Very, very poor recruitment and speculative recruitment. And when we get promoted, there's probably going to be some years of consolidation where we buy players who are not young players, high potential, high risk, but are, maybe older players who are proven and can grind out some seasons in the Premier League to establish us there. So I honestly thought that when he came on, it was going to be a complete shit show, but it was actually really good. And just one more thing I want to say: the San Francisco 49ers, the American Football Club, they don't just let Kyle Shanahan, the manager, talk to the media on his own, like Leeds United have been hiding behind Daniel Farke. John Lynch, the general manager, talks to the press a lot there. So they already have a system where they have somebody in Kinnear's position who is talking more to the press. So we've got an idea as what's going on. And when there's no idea, it just looks like chaos and everybody loses their minds and has a meltdown.
I know, but the thing is, it's like, I'm from a different generation. Like I say, you knew who Bill Fotherby was, you knew who Manny Cousins was, you knew who, certain owners who were involved in the club, but you didn't want to hear from them. Ridsdale was the sort of first of his kind going on the pitch, singing to the fans at Milan. Fuck about them. I mean, they're all ugly. They all wear shit suits. They look fucking terrible. Just fucking don't. I don't want you on my screen, and I'm not really asked about what you've got to say. The Leeds fan, whether you're from my generation or the new, must be the same. That whatever happens on that green dance floor on a Saturday afternoon, or a fucking Wednesday or a Friday. That's all that matters, right? And then the playing squad that you put together is down to you, and your profit and loss is down to you. Do it in the background. We go to work all day. Wiggy probably deals with profit and loss and staffing and HR, and I've got 2 businesses. I deal with it all fucking day. I don't go. I'm not interested in your bullshit. Do the best team out there on the pitch on a Saturday. Win football matches. Send the fucking crowd who worked all week to pay for a ticket home happy. Fuck off. All this scientific bullshit in the background and fucking P&L and, oh, we had to sell and, oh, we're going to get players who are more experienced. You should have done that the first fucking time round. Every Leeds fan knew that. When we got promoted last time, the problem we had was we didn't have any experienced Premier League players. And when they were looking at, oh, I'm going to bring the cream of the Championship, he talks shit. He just fucking makes up as he goes, look, we're not dicking about with the playoffs again. Fuck off. You fucking did. You dicked about with it again and you lost again. You know, it's full of shit. The one thing they've done is Bielsa. Bielsa got us up. Bielsa fucking got Cooper playing like Baresi, Baresi. He got fucking Stuart Dallas playing like Cafu. He got fucking Patrick Bamford, got a tune out of Patrick Bamford, which is some fucking thing. That's... and people talk about buying the ground, You look at, he's on about fucking gaps in revenue. I'm just going to pick on one thing and then I'll shut the fuck up. He's gone on about gaps in revenue. Oh, well, we lost all that and we had £1 million in Premier League and we fucking got only 30 grand now. And, right? Right? Fucking bring out some good fucking shirts then and get it more commercially. Make the fucking tickets more available. Do more commercially. Bring better stuff out. Have you seen some of that shit in that Leeds shop? It's like fucking TK Maxx, for fuck's sake. It's like fucking Primark. Get some decent git bought out so people want to buy it and get it. It's full of shit. It's full of shit.
Paul Hunt, not Paul Hunter, the snooker player. Paul Hunt says, don't ever change Mac, lol.
R.I.P. Paul Hunter.
Big Wig says, God, I've been waiting for Mac to go on one.
I have, but you've given me the fucking bullets now talking about Kinnear being all right. No, not having it.
I'm hesitant to say anything else that he said.
I would suggest that's probably wise.
I don't know. Listen, my opinion's right. I'm just telling you what I feel. You crack on. You want to?
So they didn't
hand job him off anymore. You crack on.
I tell you one thing he said, which I thought was quite interesting. When he said when they were doing the pictures for the new kit just after Easter, and Joe Roda was adamant he was going to be in them pictures because he was like, I'm coming back. Like he's now at the Shara, I'm coming back here. And again, I was like, that says a lot about Joe Rodon and how much he wants to be at Leeds United, because he could have gone to a lower end Premier League club, probably could have gone to Ipswich or things that I think brilliant.
This is before the club spoke to his agents, before the club spoke to Tottenham Hotspur. This is 6 months before the summer, and he was absolutely adamant that I'm coming back. And they would have had to have redone all of that promo stuff. So it wasn't like a small thing, that cost money as well, paying the photographers, setting it all up, etc., etc. It goes to print, all of those things. So, yeah, if he wasn't a legend before, he absolutely is now. And I just think, talk about loan signings and never fall in love with a loan player. Well, he is the exception. And I don't think we've had a better centre back pairing. Even when we had Ben White, I know this is all about Liam Cooper.
You're going to slag Cooper.
I do think that Pascal Struijk is better than he is better. I mean, he is better than Cooper was.
No, I agree. Well, I think the Cardiff game, first game last season. It's not a circle here, Cooper started and he scored the equaliser. Brilliant. That's Cooper all over it. It got us back in the game. Leadership, brilliant. They brought Cresswell on, and it was like watching a different game. He was bringing the ball out. He was doing it quicker. His passing was better. You look at Struijk, he's got a bit of everything about him, and he can score. You've talked about it already. He can score goals. You look at Rodon. I'm shocked he's not scored more goals. I'm shocked Ampadu hasn't scored more. I mean, if you're on a football pitch at any level, and you're playing it first 11, generally you notch a few times, don't you? You get a scuffy one from a glancing header that goes in. We're not doing any of that, but I'm going to say something now. I think it's partly, and hopefully Tanaka and Gruev getting better will change this. It's half down to delivery. The quality of our set pieces is fucking appalling. And most of your centre-half goals, most of your centre-half scoring headers is from free kicks and corners, and ours are terrible, and they have been so long as
they've got significantly better. I mean, you can tell that they've worked on it. You could tell in their first friendly matches.
Pablo was the last natural deliverer of a football I can remember.
I joke with that kid at the game when we get a corner. It's like corner number 742 without a goal. It fucking goes out, and you go, for fuck's sake, not again. The one thing I like is Aronson taking corners without his fucking mate Harrison fucking whispering sweet nothings in his ear and just fucking crossing the ball. It's so much fucking better. Fucking knobhead.
So there was an admission that the team last season was too young, and that they were looking, they were sitting around there at the playoff final. They were looking at very, very young players, even 18 years old, into only just turned 18 in terms of Archie, to pull us through to get us over the line. But even some of those other players, who you think were more established, very, very young, Rutter, for example. So they've gone for players who are between the ages of 22 and 26 this window, and they're hoping that it should show that the average team this season will be 3 to 4 years older, the average age, and that's very deliberate. I thought that was a good strategy. Something else that came out, which I think is really good, is that the stadium will finally be expanded, and there will be an announcement very shortly. And there is a group of people who are on a board, and they're meeting 2 to 3 times a week. And I'll try and find the place in my notes. But basically, they're preparing to apply for planning permission, and there will be an announcement shortly. So the 49ers have committed a multi-million-pound sum on the project. The project team has environmentalists, transport planners. There's a design team, so architects. There's structural and mechanical engineers, and that team meets 2 or 3 times a week. Great meetings, those, aren't they, Matt? I'm sure you've been in.
I can't fucking honestly. My favourite meetings. Then
53,000 will be the capacity. And there will be space for general admission as well as hospitality. There will be significant general admission sheets, but the West Stand will have to have upgraded hospitality.
100%, yeah. No, there's a lot of good things that have come out of it for sure. But like I said, be more savvy commercially, bring out better shirts, make more money on that. The playing squad thing. Listen, I could go back to a podcast from 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and we talk about the fact that they were bringing in, Orta's mantra was Perkins from West Ham, Somerville, fair enough. You look at all them young players that we signed, and even the academy players that people talked about, Greenwood and others that were coming through, Gelhardt was another example. It's not worked. You've got Somerville that you could probably argue has worked. Archie Gray coming through the academy has worked. But let's be honest, there's been a lot of investment in those young players, and that was this Leicester model bullshit, innit? We were going down Leicester model, bringing in a Harry Maguire from Sheffield United for whatever and selling for 80 million. We didn't do that. We didn't develop the players, and we talked about how heavy the shirt is, and I'll move on to Wiggy in a minute, but it's different playing for Leeds. I don't care what anybody says. It's tribal, and not every player thrives. It took Georgie, let's be honest, a year and a half, whatever it was, to look anything like a footballer at Ellen Road. And he's saying that the squad was too young, and we need to. We could have told you that 3 or 4 years ago. When you're looking at the players that we're bringing on, and they're not experienced enough, and that the championships are relentless league, and it needs people with experience to pace themselves and know how to manage a game. And we've told you all this. If he's doing it that's his job every day. We've been here forever. We've watched it. We know exactly what it looks like. We know what good looks like. We know what a player who can settle in and look like part of the furniture straight away looks like. I just find it a bit patronising. But again, you're probably talking to the wrong person because I just can't see past all the fucking bullshit. 50-odd thousand. I still won't get a ticket.
He did mention that, Matt. He did mention that about players, and he was talking about a number 10, and he was saying that we're having to replace a £40 million player, which was Rutter. Now, I don't exactly agree with that because we did get Pablo on a free, for example.
Yeah, bollocks, exactly.
The two 10s that they were looking at were Buendia, who was obviously at Villa, who are in the Champions League, and Hamer.
He ain't playing. He's not playing.
They went in. No, he's not playing. Yeah. So that's why they were trying to get him. But he didn't want to come to Leeds. He didn't want to come to the Championship. They tried to get Hamer, and there was because they're split between owners. There's an ownership battle at the moment. Transition is probably a better word than battle. They were given the indication that he might be available. So there was nobody to talk to because they're in this transition. So they just put in an offer. And Sheffield United said, he's not for sale, not at any price, and definitely not to Leeds United.
Oh, did you know what? It comes ever, and it fucking boiled the piss of that little spam-headed twat. Brilliant. I'm glad. Good. If it made him have a couple of sleepless nights and sit there fucking fidgeting and fucking biting his nails.
And the rationale was exactly what you were saying. So they were looking at the 10 role and they were thinking, look, we've got Solomon who can play there, we've got Aronson who can play there, Nonto, and there's Piru, who we know definitely can't play there, but he mentioned him as well. But he was saying, can we buy somebody who's ready to go straight away, who's able to be better than any of those players that we've already got? And they were the two that they thought they might be able to get that might be able to do that. And the rest were young emerging talents in Europe who might be good, but he said, we've been down that route before and it hasn't worked out. We're relegated. That was the rationale.
Well, Ilias Shared as well. They looked at Shared, didn't they? I think it's a position that we've not conquered since Pablo. That's the problem, and the fact that we've got loads of wingers. I do think Nonto might be able to do a job in there. Not convinced Aronson can. I'm not sure about Aronson in that 10. Pirro evidently is not, but I think I like Pirro. I can't dislike Pirro. There's players that are in that team that I think fucking no chance. I like him as maybe playing 2 up front or just playing off Joseph. I think he'd be great. Not as a 10, but almost as a sort of not a 2 up front. You know what I mean? But
a 9.5.
Yeah, 9.5. Yeah, that platform in Harry Potter 9 3/4 or whatever.
Right.
You know
that's Piru. That's definitely Piru.
That's Piru, yeah. In that of a dimension, but Nonto I think could be the one maybe that might just be able to go in there and do a job for us and be better and cheaper. Let's be honest than many of the alternatives we talked about.
Right.
Did you go get a rosé spritzer then, Steve?
I did go get a rosé spritzer. Yeah.
I knew exactly what you were doing.
I fucking parched and you wouldn't shut up, so I thought, you know what, I want to get a rosé spritzer.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers. But yeah, I agree. I think Nonto down the middle is probably the best option we've got at the minute. I think Aronson is actually surprised me, to be fair. He's had a really good start to the season. I still don't forgive the little bastard yet, but a few more games, playing well, scoring goals. You've got to get over it and you've got to get behind him. So I think for me, Nonto's the answer, Willie, down the middle. And then we go from there. And if he gets injured, because he likes a bit of a knock now and again, doesn't he? Then you start to look at it. But I think the one thing I agree with, Barry, is fuck no to Pirro at 10.
Yeah. No
fucking way.
So a couple more things from the Angus interview, and then that's it. Done.
Oh, please stop talking about that.
So we.
Sorry.
So we did try and buy Clark, and we did try and buy Jonathan Rowe, and the players didn't want to come. It wasn't about money. Clark obviously went went to the Premier League. John Thoreau went to Ligue 1. And now in terms of they also, in terms of loan players from the Premier League, they were looking at Maciavelli from City, who City decided to keep in the end. And they were looking at Carvalho, who was sold to Brentford for 27 million. And then in terms of Archie Gray, so there was a clause, and it was activated on the last day it could have been. And the reason why they put the clause in so early in the summer was if it did, and such a large number, was if it did happen, if we did have to lose him, it would be for a significant amount of money, and it would be early enough in the summer that we could try and replace him. And he was saying that there's an issue with these young kids, and Finley Gorman was an example who we lost to see. He said that if you look at both Manchester academies, that a lot of those kids have Yorkshire postcodes, and that they are sucking up all the talent that would have ordinarily been local to us. And
you know why though? Because there's a rule that in the Championship, Sheffield United can't come in and run academies or pilfer players. I mean, this is ridiculous, isn't it? So in the Championship or below, you can't come into a city and run academies and school workshops and holiday clubs, but you can if you're in the Premier League. So Man City, Man United, anybody else local to us could come into Leeds and run workshops in schools and run holiday clubs and pilfer players from our grassroots football teams, but other Championship sides can't. So that's why you've got that situation going on. It's an absolute farce. Sorry.
So that's okay. So Archie Gray signed 2 contracts with us, if I remember correctly. And both times, what Kinnear was saying was that he could have signed for any club in England. And the second contract he signed, he could have signed for any club in England and any club in Europe. And that both Real Madrid and Bayern Munich were interested in signing Archie Gray. And he was saying that in order to keep players like that, you have to do 3 things. You have to offer wages that are comparable to what they would get in the Premier League. You have to guarantee first-team football. And you have to construct a contract that player's agents are happy with. So that was the issue with Archie. So we gave him wages of Premier League level. We guaranteed him first-team football, which is why he played so much last season. And we had that clause in that allowed him to not be constrained by the Championship forever, because he already had these clubs, giant clubs, after him.
You might have covered this last week. Like, I think the money we got for Archie Gray was superb. 40 million for a player who's 18-year-old, who's played 1 season in the Championship, is fracking money. Did I want to lose Archie Gray? Absolutely not. Can I see where the club sold him? Absolutely. Can I see 40 million being the number that you put in a contract? Yeah, I can. I totally can. It was sad to see him go. Great player. I definitely think he's a £100 million player. I think he'll go to the next World Cup. I think he'll play for England. I think he'll go to a £100 million player. I think all of that stuff will happen because I think he's that good. And I think that's probably the truest thing Angus said on that podcast is that, he could play for anyone in England. He could play for anyone in Europe. He's that good. He's a generational talent. And it's sad to see him go, but I think that's the one that when you talk about it and you look at the numbers and you look at the business, you go, do you know what? I get that. And I've listened to a bit of that podcast. I agree. They've reinvested it in a right back that is Championship material and paid a fraction of what they sold Archie for. So I don't blame them on that one.
That's the point, though, isn't it? Is it all this talk about how great he is, what a generational talent he is, and all that. He was playing right back when he's a midfielder. He probably could play anywhere, but he wasn't getting in his chosen position. And saying that...
Oh, there you are, Wig.
Hello. You've got to guarantee him first-team football. Tottenham won't guarantee him first-team football. He hasn't started. He's not playing for him. When's Archie Gray going to get a start for Tottenham when they've got 8 injuries? So I agree with Wiggy that £40 million for an 18-year-old, that whatever people say, He's still in development, certainly physically. Technically, no doubt whatsoever that he's a great player. He's got the technical and sort of physical, technical and football ability. But physically, he's still got a bit of developing to do. And that changes how you are as a player. So £40 million for a player that's played one season in the Championship, 18-year-old, that's cost us nothing, is great. He was probably the one that I was most surprised about because I thought Rutter would go and I thought Somerville would go. I thought Nonto might go. So he was probably the one that I thought, wow, I didn't expect that. But actually, when you look at it, clearly his dad, who's been at Leeds, been moved on twice, clearly his agent was involved. Clearly that release clause was being touted around to people to get that last-minute deal through. And he's gone to a club, let's be honest, that are very Leedsy, Spursy. So, I'm not saying I wish ill of the dead, people who've moved on and gone to other clubs, but good luck. I don't think he'll go to the next World Cup. I certainly don't think he'll start. I think he's one of them that might be looking to, have I got any Irish or Scottish parents in 4 years' time, see if I can fucking qualify for them. So, see what happens. Long way to go in it.
It is. I'd take a bet on that he goes.
Well, he goes to the next World Cup. I'll have you a bet. Go on.
Right. Good lad.
£25. He don't go to the next World Cup. Don't play in the next World Cup.
Okay, and that's even coming off the bench.
Yep, fine.
Right, £25. You heard it here first.
Bet responsibly.
I'll shake on it. Witnesses. We've got plenty of witnesses. 140 witnesses.
We've got 3.
on the day Archie Gray was going down to Tottenham to sign his contract, both Kinnear and Parag called him, and the message from
Please
the club,
don't go. Please
from the club was, if it doesn't feel right, just come back.
Sounds dodgy.
So I think there was a lot that Kinnear said. What I thought is he explained things very, very well. And, he talked about when we get promoted, and he talked about having all of the, fundamentals from an ownership group that you would want when you got promoted. So you've got, Realtor, property developer in Lowy. You've got the 49ers, who have one of the wealthiest sports clubs in the world. And you've got, Red Bull, who are a global brand. And so with all of those elements, he was saying that once we get promoted, you'll instantly see, it will be very noticeable, the intent and the structure that you wouldn't be able to see at, say, a Luton or a Brighton or a Bournemouth. So massive stadium expansion, massive investment, on and off the pitch.
Well, proof is in the pudding. That's all I'm going to say. Good, crack on. Stop talking about it. Get the fuck on with it. Imagine Archie Gray. Well, if it doesn't feel right, please. It's like some poster in a nightclub toilet. If it doesn't seem right, tell about it. Report it to staff. Fucking hell.
See it, say it. Sorry.
Yeah.
And offers did come in for other players, by the way, in exceeding £10 million. So there were offers for Nonto, Ampadu, Strauch, and Meslier.
Fucking hell, why did they get rid of that?
Did you say 10 million or £10? Because I'd have fucking took a tenner for him.
Fucking hell. Yeah.
Derek Moore says, "Evening, gents. Evening, Derek.
Right, Derek.
Good to see you, mate. Good to see you again." Chris Baldwin, "The guy was a dead loss. Another Bamford who needs getting off the books." I assume he's talking about Liam Cooper there. And Michael, "Didn't Archie pull out of the Brentford deal because it didn't feel right to him when it looked as if he was about to sign for them?" He didn't talk about that, didn't our Angus. What he did talk about was Red Bull, and he was very insistent that it's a sponsorship deal, that it's part of a new strategy.
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
I'm
on about. This is what I'm talking about.
To get involved in English football where they haven't done before, and that includes all of the sponsorship sponsorships that they've been doing with other clubs as well. So
that's their model, isn't it? That's their MO, isn't it? To come in and give you 50 million quid, yeah.
But he did say that what they've never even spoken about that. But what he did say was all they've spoken about with the 49ers.
Whoa. Can you smell back? Can you smell something? Because I can't. Fucking bullshit.
All they've spoken about with the 49ers is how to engage fans in the Red Bull brand.
Really? Is that by selling loads of soft, overcarbonated, loads of fucking calorific drinks behind the bar at the stadium? Yeah.
Maybe don't put red on the kit.
They've given us 50 million quid for that. What a load of shit. Their MO is clear. Their MO's been the same for years, man. Fucking hell. What a load of shit. The thing is, he'll walk into the fucking distance, into the dust will clear when they sell to Red Bull anyway, so it won't matter, will it? Nothing he says.
I went off Red Bull fucking 20 years ago when I was 21 year old. I had too many fucking Red Bulls and fucking threw up. And it's one of them drinks now I cannot go near. It makes me want to vomit.
It's different when it comes back up.
Yeah, it's like cough medicine.
It's different the second time. It's definitely different the second time.
Especially when you go to Thailand and you go to a chemist and you can buy the concentrated ones from chemist in Thailand and you're fucking up for about 3 days.
Rightio. Okay, so that's everything Leeds United then. Liam Cooper, Bob, Angus Kinnear, Dan James. Who else? Max Verber. Massive podcast there. Hope you liked it. Right. All that's left to do then.
Spent far too long on fucking, what's his name?
What's your thing? What's your thing? Wiggy, have you done a what's your thing? Do you know what? No.
What have you been up to?
So if you just pick one new thing that you've experienced in the last week that you want to tell us, it could be anything. It could be a new hobby. It could be a new TV show that you've watched or a film. It could be somewhere that you've been or an experience that you've had. A new friend that you've met. You might have bumped into somebody in the 3 legs and you want to tell us an experience about that, which it probably would be an experience knowing that establishment. Wiggy, what is your thing?
There's a new TV show on Paramount Plus called Naked Dating, and it's like Love Island, but they're all naked. It's fucking trash. It's brilliant. I love it. Oh, mate. You know what? With all them bloody tallywhackers on show, you're damn right I'm there.
He's so fucking shallow. Just loads of knobs on telly. Brilliant. My new thing.
I have to cover my eyes with tits and fannies in there. Like, I'm like this.
Wow.
What are them?
Are these good-looking individuals, specimens?
It's just like Love Island, so yeah, they're absolutely gorgeous, all of them. But they just don't have out on. Yeah. That's as good as it's been this last week.
There's no blurring out, or it's like proper. You can see everything.
Oh no, you can see it. Oh yeah. It's very good. Give it a go.
And what's the premise? So they look each other over, sniff each other a little bit, and then
what?
Look each other over, sniff each other.
Then do they? Yeah. Is it like blind dates? Like Cilla do they get blindfolded? Do they have to smell each other? What's happened? Do they win a date to Morocco? Or?
Well, it's a bit, as I say, it's like Love Island, so a lot of heavy petting. But they take it with more than Love Island. They're shagging, but they don't show the shagging.
But they're not eating the pets.
What's the point?
They're not eating the pets. They're not eating the pets.
No.
I've heard about that recently. That's a problem. Eating pets.
Yeah. So other than that, that's how boring my life's been at the minute. I'm looking forward to the game on Saturday. Yeah. Go back to football.
What a great
sounds extremely exciting, actually.
What a great sports podcast this is.
It's just a little bit of fun at the end. Give over.
Oh, I love the thing.
You wanted to start with what's your thing?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
Mac.
My thing's great. I love my thing. Do you know what? Yeah. It's really difficult for me a minute because I've had my head in work. I've just literally walked in before the podcast, so I didn't have a chance to think about a thing. Probably going to go telly as well because when I've been getting in worn out and tired, I've just been The Mole. Have you watched The Mole series 2?
Nope.
On Netflix. Oh man, Give it a watch. So it's basically There's one person.
I assume it's not about a skin condition.
No, and it's not
following
about,
on from the whole naked dating thing.
Not about a burrowing mammal either. No, it's about 12 people sort of thrown together, and one of them is there to sabotage missions and win money. There was a series a couple of years ago.
I've heard about it because my friend at work, they were saying it's like Traitors, but it's not Traitors.
It is like Traitors. Yeah, it's exactly like Traitors. A little bit more, I don't know, Traitors, a bit cloak and dagger, literally, and a bit sort of like surreptitious. You know who the mole is as a watcher.
Well, I know who the mole is.
Sorry,
I know it's you. It's you, man. I know. It's you. You are the mole.
You know who the traitor is watching the programme. You don't know who the mole is. So it's quite
right.
It's good. So watch that. It's quite good. And other than that, I ain't got fuck all to say now. I've spoken.
Do you know what, Mac? I might actually give that a watch after.
Honestly, give it. You'll love it, because it's very bitchy. It's a bit catty.
Are you saying I'm picking catty?
No, you're gorgeous, man. I love you.
You've picked Wiggy.
But you like that kind of shit.
Yeah,
shit. I love it. Yeah.
Shit TV. Yeah.
Going and fucking shitting on each other, backstabbing. I fucking love all that. It's great. And the good thing is, like I said, you don't know who the mole is. Like with the what's it called, the traitors. You know
traitors.
You don't know this. You're all like guessing and going, oh, it's definitely them. Oh, no, it's not. It's definitely him. It's definitely them. And they need to do a British one because it's just listening to those American voices.
So I imagine if there's like games where they play games to try and win money in the same way.
Of course, yeah.
So then you're trying to find out if people are incompetent or corrupt. A bit like the English Football League and the referees.
A bit like Angus. Bringing it back round. No, it's really good. You like it. So yeah, it's a mission. It's a bit like the traitors. Get this box with 25 grand across in a raft that you've made, and has that guy made fucking rope ties too small on purpose, or has he not thought about why has he dropped that cooking cast to the bottom of the sea? It's got 25 grand in it. It's great. You like it. You love it with traitor stuff. You'll like the mole. Yeah. So I've just watched it. Kids, I like watching the kids. Kids like they don't sit with us anymore. We've got to that age now, 15 and 13, where me and my missus think, oh, we'll watch something and we'll all watch it together. And they're like, what the fuck's this shit? So they all disappear to their bedrooms, whereas the mole, it's got us all pretty gripped. So it's just finished series 2. So yeah, catch up with that if you can.
I will.
Okay, and I might as well go for a TV show as well, seeing as continue the theme. It's not a mole. It's not naked dating. It's not moles on naked dating. It's a Criminal Record on Apple TV Plus, and it's really good. Peter Capaldi, very good in it. A little bit, intriguing, mystery, detective, but also a little bit of drama, but very good script. And I've been watching a lot of Apple TV Plus recently, and I have to say the quality of the video and the HDR, and the 4K and the Dolby Vision of that is unbeatable.
You've got a new telly, haven't you? You've got a
like real life.
You've got a new telly.
Yeah, and my eyes are burning.
I know,
I'm about an inch away from it, and my eyes are literally melting. And they've probably aged about 5 years in the last few months. I'm having to get thicker and thicker glasses. I'll be like, you'll be able to see. Basically, it'll just be my eyes. When they're refracted, they're that sort of weird glasses where it's like massive. I think Dennis Taylor had them. Elton John. No. Anyway, Criminal Record, very, very good. So there you go. Highly recommend that one.
It sounded very erudite compared to me and Wiggy's the mole backstabbing and his tallywhackers out. This sounds quite educated.
Yeah, not my sort of shit. I want to see a tallywhacker.
It's not a tallywhacker. First 40 seconds, I'm not interested.
I'm turning that shit off.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's all this intrigue. There's old cases. Peter Capaldi's this old detective there seems to be an element of corruption, and there's a new young detective, and she's uncovered, something that one of these previous convictions that there might be an innocent guy in prison, and there's lots of intrigue, and people dying suddenly and random calls, and yeah, it's very, very good. It intrigues you. It's like you just keep wanting to watch the next episode. So highly recommend that. There we go. That was it.
Wow. Wiggy, you're a fucking superstar, mate. Thank you. You should come on more often.
Yeah.
Well,
thanks
for having me. I've right enjoyed catching up. It's really good.
Beautiful, mate.
You saved this podcast. You saved it because Mac was in a terrible mood. He's been
fucking mad couple of weeks, me. I'm fucking ready to kill somebody. So yeah, it's probably just this is like very cathartic for me.
Well, the thing is, you'd usually say I had big shoes to fill, but I fucking didn't. So
Poor man.
Sorry, let me just give him let me serenade him. Happy clapper, woo!
Wow. Final few comments then. Arthur Bushby says, Michael. Oh, he's talking to Michael about the Archie deal. No, Spurs said we want Gray. We'll let you have Road on. And he's been calling Liam Cooper Bulgaria Cooper, which is a new nickname. So it's not League One, Liam. It's now Bulgaria Cooper, which sounds pretty cool, actually. It's like our man in Bulgaria is on some sort of a mission. Got my new yellow away kit, £20. So I'm guessing he's
China.
He's got a delivery from China. China, as Donald Trump would say. There's another reference. If you didn't get the eating your dogs and your cats, and what was the other one? Transgender operations on illegal aliens. I mean, that's poetry. That is. You got to give it to him. That's actually poetry.
How mad is that country to fucking have a vote that close between them two? You've got a very, articulate, intelligent, mixed race female who seems to be really, good. You've got that fucking madman, and it's quite close to vote. It's like, what kind of country is that? Is that America? I can't get my head around it.
Yeah. Changes topic 4 times.
Eating the cats and they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats and dogs and the people that live there.
Fucking lunatic. Fuck me. Put him down. Just put him down. There's a lot to be said for fucking euthanasia.
Indeed. Rightio. Come on, Leeds. We'll see you next week.